And this is Margaret.
And we're the Cousins Weird. And we're terrible trending.
Terrible trend number 19.
Woo! I can't believe we're already 19. It feels like we just started our terrible trends.
I know. I love these. These are so much fun.
They're fun. They're fun because they're terrible. And that makes me laugh a lot.
Yes.
So
I'm excited. What is yours?
It's about Renaissance women being obsessed with pale skin.
Okay.
And what they would do to get it.
Oh, no.
Okay. They were obsessed with pale skin, almost to the point that it looked translucent. They wanted translucent pale skin, pasty-ass skin. And they, with some rouge cheeks and lips. So red cheeks and lips, because it really made the skin look
more
white.
Oh, yeah.
So it all kind of started because Queen Elizabeth I was considered the Virgin Queen. Okay. And she wanted her outsides to reflect her purity on the inside. So she would paint her skin white. Because how else do you look like a virgin unless you're pasty-ass white? Apparently, if you had any color, any melanin in your skin, you were a skank. I don't know what she thought, but she thought...
Technically, here's the esthetician in me coming out to correct you.
Oh.
We all have the same amount of melanin. It's just we have there's two different types of melanin. They have a different shade.
Really?
Yes. So.
I didn't know that.
Yeah. So that's why when you have...
I guess that makes sense. Melanin is what your color would be. So just what shade of it do you have?
Two people with different kinds of melanin have a baby, and then baby's melanin is the blend of the two.
And that's it's like mixing colors.
Yes.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah.
Well, or you just paint your skin white. Her look caught on, and pale skin became equal to courtly beauty and nobility and wealth, because the queen's that way. And it was also proof that you weren't doing menial work outside like the lower class. God forbid you go in the sun and do some work. We can't have that. So
I don't go in the sun and do work.
I mean, I don't either. I put a lot of sunscreen.
If I go outside, I'm in the shade and I have a big fat hat on.
It's not because I don't want to look lower class. It's because I don't want melanoma. But they didn't know about that then, so that wasn't their excuse.
And the sun makes me feel sick. I'm going to puke.
It was also a time in history where skin issues kind of were an issue and smallpox were common. So there's lots of scarring, there's lots of blemishes, and there's no sunscreen then, obviously. SPF 0, they didn't have it. So it's not like they could protect their skin against the sun in any way. And creams and ointments were not within reach of working class people either. So unblemished skin, pale skin was rare because you have freckles, you have blemishes, you have smallpox.
They did not have sunscreen back then.
No, there was no. That's why I said SPF 0. It had nothing. And another thing, they said that Queen Elizabeth, when she started doing it, she was actually trying to hide smallpox. And then it just kind of kept it. So she tried to write it off as I need to be pure. But it really, she had smallpox. She didn't want.
She had scars from smallpox.
Yeah, she didn't want people to see it. So feeling pressured to live by society's standards of the idea that the paler you are, the more young and healthy you are, women started doing some very unhealthy things to achieve paleness. Yeah. Like, it's kind of funny and ironic that they thought paleness meant healthy, but what they're doing is actually horrible for them.
And, when we were kids, like, go out and get some sun so you have a healthy glow.
Yeah, healthy glow.
Yeah.
And I think, healthy is what you're born as, right? Like,
exactly.
That's your skin. You look healthy and glowing because your skin is how you were born.
I know.
Just embrace the color of your skin and glow from within.
Exactly.
Right? Let's not all try to change ourselves all the time. So, anyway, one way to achieve paleness. So, before social events, they would put leeches on their ears or cheeks that would drain the blood from their face. So, you see, there's these women out having probably their ladies
and waiting
out digging up leeches in the yard to stick on their face.
Leeches live in the water.
Oh yeah, in the water.
They don't live in the dirt.
They're not a worm. So they're out in the creek bed trying to find leeches. And consistently doing this, because you probably had a lot of, if you society. I don't know what they did in the Renaissance period for it's not like Bridgerton where they had a season, but they probably had events they had to go to if you were a nobility, and they had to do a lot.
They had balls and things. And it's funny, the whole leech thing. We've been camping. We went to Fallings Bees Clear Pond, and I had the kids with us, and there were leeches in the water, and they were green and red, and they were horrifyingly horrible looking. And my kids would scream, and they never would touch their foot in the water.
I'm with them.
And it's like, you'll see the leeches. I don't want it. I don't want a mommy. I go, you don't even feel it. I go, it's mosquito bites are worse. Even though the thought of a leech sucking your blood out,
the worst thing I've ever
it's
heard.
like the worst thing to think about. It's like, no. But it doesn't hurt.
I don't
when they're
care.
stuck on you and you don't feel it because
it hurts me.
They numb you.
It hurts me internally.
Yeah,
I can't do it.
It's like
I remember seeing these big giant leeches in Canada when we were in Algonquin Park.
Red and stripey, and they have a green bottom.
They had a red stripe on them, and they're big and they're swimming like this in the water and yuck. But last year kayaking, my first time out that season. We went to Black River Bay, the place where I took you, but we went to a different island out there, and I got in the water. It was cold still, a little cold out still, and I put my foot up into the kayak, and thank God it was on my water shoe, was a leech, and Richard's already taken off, and I'm screaming, and I'm hitting it with my paddle, get it off me, and like trying to come back to see what's wrong, and I'm like, there's a leech on me. But thank God it wasn't on my skin.
Oh,
man. I was like, can you imagine if I was barefoot?
You know, water shoes have holes, right?
No, mine don't.
They don't?
No, I have these, they're like scuba material.
Cool. Neoprene.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, I got them at Walmart for $9.99.
I guess so, them.
And they're kind of like the toe ones with the toes, but it doesn't have full toe holes. Because, I don't like toe holes.
I don't like toe
but
shoes either.
They're just, bumpy at the top like a toe. Anyway.
There's no separation between my toes. They're like one unit.
Yeah, they should stay there.
And the big toe moves separately, but the other ones move the same. And they need to stay together. Because
they need to. They're
they'll
friends.
Be lonely if they're apart.
Anyway, leeches on your face, it gets you there. And if they did it a lot, they get lesions on their face because they have little sucker lips.
I don't want leeches on my foot, let alone my face.
And they're put in there on purpose. Of course, they leached everyone back in the day.
I think those big black ones that were horrible, gross. Ugh.
One of the most popular methods for achieving paleness was a mixture of lead oxide and vinegar.
That sounds unhealthy.
To make a thick foundation that was heavily painted on the face, neck, and bosom. Because you had to have it all one color.
No.
They were showing off their bosom, so they had to do that.
Yeah, because they were low cut.
They were low cut, yeah.
Straight across.
But anyway. Once painted, the woman has to be very cautious because it's so thick, right, and so white. Not to move too much as to crack it.
God forbid you go to a ball and have fun.
You do this. Don't move too much, your boobs might crack.
Oh, goodness. That's funny.
To really achieve that translucent look, they even took to painting blue lines with a thin brush on their forehead and boobs to make it look...
You have veins.
You have the veins,
no.
Yeah. No. To get their red for their lips and cheeks, they use a mercury-based product, which... Bad news! Healthy. Bad news. And they would apply it liberally, because they wanted a dark... Because the darker, the whiter you looked.
Nope. And then the deader you get later, because the mercury kills you.
Here is some esthetician thing I found. That they even use mercury as a type of facial peel to make their skin soft and fresh. Don't do that at home.
I don't do that kind of peel.
That kind of peel is eating your skin away.
You're going to be dead. It's not good.
It's not good.
That's not good for you.
So as you can imagine, using these poisonous products causes some skin damage and body damage. So people had skin burns, eye infections, scarring, leathery skin from it, facial muscle paralysis, headaches, and early death. All those things were happening.
But your skin was nice and pale.
But it eventually, because you're overusing it would... So the thing is,
your skin would probably peel and turn red, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And the thing is, the more damaged their skin was, the more product they started to put on their skin to cover the damage of the skin, which is just a vicious circle because you're just making it worse. What you're doing to cover is what's causing it. So stop. Women knew this. That it actually was, but they're like, no, I have to be pale, or I'm not virtuous. I am a peasant whore because I have to be virginal, and I have to be.
I am a peasant whore.
I am too.
I'm totally one.
Late in Italian restaurants, no. Late in the Italian Renaissance. Now this
Renaissance, not restaurants.
Which they're good. Italian restaurants are fantastic.
They are good.
In the Renaissance, and this is something I originally heard of from Bailey Sarian, who's one of my heroes of all time. If you don't watch her on YouTube, you should. True crime and makeup. What more could you want? There's a woman, Signora Tofana, developed makeup with arsenic. And she sell this deadly concoction, Aqua Tofana. And Bailey Sarian says it like that. It's really cute. So you should go listen to her. I'm not going deep in this. This is just part of... They started out when Aqua Tofana was like liquid. But when she started doing this, she started it...
I've heard of this before. Being
laced in powdered makeup to keep on the stand, because makeup, they would use powder too to get the white. Mm-hmm. So it was inconspicuous, if they had that on their thing. And then she moved on to other things, and I'm not going to go into all that. You can listen to that episode from Bailey Sarian. But so doing this, she told women that, if you wanted to get out of your marriage, which back then you were like set up in marriages, you weren't in marriage for love, you probably were possession, you had no options, they used it to kill their husbands,
yet they'd still powder all over their face.
Yeah. And they were putting it in like the food, yes. And then it got moved into like a perfume bottle, and it moved into like a thing from one of the saints, like a saint's thing, and you could drop it in there. But yeah, it first was disguised as a powdered makeup. The women weren't necessarily wearing it.
I just started a book on all the different ways to poison people, and I'm going to do an episode on it.
Oh, cool. So Aqua Tofana at first was like a powdered makeup, then it changed. Women could set a small container on their dressing tables next to lotions and perfumes without raising suspicion for anyone. They were like, oh, it's just, her makeup. There was enough arsenic to kill without leaving a trace. So she knew the exact amount. She was smart. And it said that she killed up to 600 men that way. She was a serial killer through their wives. She was eventually arrested and executed 50 years later, or whatever.
Probably had it coming.
Oh, 99% of them did.
Not that anybody should kill anybody, but back then a woman was property, so I'm sure that some of those men probably needed killing.
Yeah. So I won't go into the whole thing, but I just thought that was interesting that her name came up into my research, and that episode was really good. And she's Bailey Sarian's funny, and her delivery is fantastic, and you should listen to her episode. So, and one other thing, like lower class people, even if they wanted to look, they didn't have time or money to get this stuff. So they could care less, or like whatever. They were tan, blemish, but they probably were healthy and lived longer.
Probably.
So it's stupid that if you look back in time of all the stuff, all the terrible trends we talked about, were always usually the wealthy class following these ridiculous trends and dying somehow from it. So who are the dumb ones here?
Right.
It's not the working class that are able to, they're working so their bodies are healthier.
Right.
And they're not catching themselves on fire because their dress is too big, and they're not.
Some of them did, though. They did have some of those serving ladies.
The serving ladies were forced to wear it, though. That's different.
They weren't forced.
They weren't? Mm-mm. Okay, the people in the fields. Or even the arsenic walls. Working class, young people that were peasants weren't putting that on their walls.
They're the ones that were dying because they had to paint the flowers green.
But it wasn't their fault.
It wasn't. It was poor working conditions.
So really, if you think about it, it's the nobility that really are stupid in history.
Yes.
So
exactly.
Anyway, that's the tale of the Renaissance time and how women were obsessed with being white and what they did, and how and really, if you think about what women go through to this day to look beautiful, and I'm viewing quotes.
It's funny now because it's gone the other way. People tan, and a lot of women are doing self-tanning, which is great. And then you have people that will put makeup on their face and then use freckle dots to give themselves freckles.
Give them freckles.
Because freckles are beautiful.
I just have them naturally.
Me too.
And I when I wear makeup, I love makeup. Don't even get me wrong, but I do it because I like me. I like to do the process of it.
Makeup makes me happy.
Yeah.
Buying makeup, looking at makeup, playing with makeup. It's almost like therapy to me.